Greetings travelers, be back again with another Kaizo Grail Part 11. Today we're going to display our interesting finds for the last few days and what sort of crazy amount of great items that has taken my Paladin to the next level over the week of streaming. We are going to change the format some and display what I think is some of my better finds and rare finds, and keep the lower level items out of your eyesight. If you like this style better than my previous videos, please let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoy the video. A quick recap of what we've found so far. After many counter runs, we've actually found ourselves with plenty of wonderful items. The Limb Rune, Pole Rune, Rune, Maul Rune, and Trang's Gloves. We did make ourselves enough treachery for our mercenary, which is keeping him alive sufficiently. The Countess has actually been pretty kind to me, but it pales in comparison to cows. We found ourselves a Burr Rune on Player 1 cows. We also found ourselves 2 Sir Runes, and one of them was in Player 1 cows and the other one was in Lower Kurast. This was crazy. I couldn't believe what I was getting off of Player 1 cows, and that my character was finding so many runes. I've been lacking in uniques that we found that I really desire, but I mean, what can you do, right? I decided I needed to continue my search over the next week for unique items. And I was really feeling underleveled, so I did a mixture of terror zones, specifically the easier ones, and boss farming. I was really kind of sticking to players 1, 2, 3-ish, just for safety purposes, since I may have found a bunch of good runes, but that didn't really translate into power. We first started with Mephisto, to try and get myself some unique items I've been desiring. After a few runs, I ended up with the Ravenfrost, and boy was it bad. 151 attack rating, and 15 to dex? That's almost minimum. I was like, wow, ridiculous. Still, I did need this for smiting in the future, so I guess it's useful, and I mark it off my list. Soon after, we moved our way to Terror Zones. I really wanted to get into the level 90s, and the Countess was a pretty easy Terror Zone. Very quickly into my Terror Countess runs, I got myself what I really wanted. I got myself a Vex Rune. Who needs unique items, apparently, when you can just have runes fall from the sky at alarming rates? So, I made a Hodo, and got 37%. Solid roll. I was pretty pleased with that. I then tried my luck with some Trav, to see if I could get some charms, or ring. I always love seeing skillers, and we ended up finding ourselves a summoning druid skiller. Since it's a single character run, I can't really use skillers outside of Paladin, but I really find skillers to be fun, so it makes my list of interesting finds. So I continued my way to Trav until what is that damage? Yeah, no more Trav for me, is what I was really thinking there. That's just insane. This really felt like I probably needed to get some more tanky gear before I tried my luck in Trav. So I did a few more Mephisto runs and got myself a new belt, String of Ears, and it rolled 14% damage reduction. I would like to wear my T-Gods in certain locations, but I didn't have the strength to put it on without respecking. I decided from here I probably should get more levels from Terror Zones. I went from zone to zone and started with the jail, where amp damage was everywhere and it was terrifying. But it rewarded me with an Istrun. I mean, this was going to be pretty useful if I ever wanted to make a call to arms. Terror Zones hasn't had the greatest drops for me, but I really needed the levels. And then I found something very rare, and is going to lock in my second socket quest. I found a 15% increased attack speed and 28% fire resistance jewel. This jewel is really good. Once I get an FND's helmet for my mercenary, it's going in there. Even online, 1530s usually trade for quite a bit, multiple high runes. It might be a while before I get the FND's, but it's something I can save for. Following the Terror Zones in Act 1, as is the plan, I found myself with a Magic Sunder Charm. I wouldn't use this often, but it would make bail a lot easier and not have to rely on my mercenary solely. The following day, we actually moved our way to Terror Mephisto, where I got my first Sacred Armor. Not unique, but it was Immortal Kings. I mean, still pretty great, and I marked it off my list. And at least we know they're starting to drop. I really like rare drops, and speaking of rare drops, I found something I don't see very often. The Spirit Ward Shield. I really love the ward base. You just don't see them often. and it's one of my favorites to see to drop. I'm really glad to mark this off my list. Afterwards, we moved our way to terrorize Stony Field. This is where the story gets interesting. Just going through, slaughtering my way through the level 90s, and boom, Fallen gifts me with a jaw rune. Considering I got a burr day 1 after killing Bale, this is the fastest Enigma I've ever gotten. So, I grabbed my mage plate, put the runes in, and decided I probably should respec, since I have a lot more strength now with my Enigma. With the respec, and the increase in my speed of killing, and the extra magic find, I thought, hell, let's go do some boss killing. And for a bit and test out our new teleport, it headed to Mephisto. That jaw finding high was amazing for a couple days. Nothing is better than teleport for hammers. I ended up finding some Drax off of Mephisto, and it had 15 strength too. This is going to be very useful for Ubers. I'm going to need the life taps. Ubers don't wreck me. So I moved to Andy, and on my way down, I ended up getting myself a wizard spike out of a box for some reason. Where was this thing when I was looking for it? Now I have a Hodo, I don't need it. It's pretty crazy I found Enigma and Hodo before I got a wizard spike. Well, luckily, Andy rewarded me with something magical too. I got my first Shaco off of her. I instantly went and socketed it and put myself a perfect topaz in it. This thing was a huge upgrade from the bulwark I was wearing, but the bulwark saved my life many times, so thank you, my old friend. With teleport engaged, and now with the Shaco, I was feeling really tanky, and my damage was way higher than before, so Terra Zones decided to reward me with a lot of experience. Terror Bale, this was very dangerous, and can easily kill me if I don't play it safe. There's so many deadly monsters here. Soon on my way down, I got myself a unique item that I was looking for before I got my Enigma. The Guardian Angel dropped. This game was such a troll. Giving me the items I wanted after getting my Enigma, it was waiting for me to get that before it gave me my basic upgrades. At least the Guardian Angel can be used for the Mercenary and Trav. With a high resistance helmet to keep him alive, it's got a purpose still. Terror Bale gave me something I rarely see. I love seeing rare drops. Giant skull drop, which is pretty great, but even better, it was 2 sockets. I really can't figure out a way to use it for any build for a Paladin, but I really would like to use this for something. If anyone has any advice, I'd love to hear it in the comments. After Terror Bale ended without any essences, I decided I'd go until I got myself an essence, so I could at least have 1 token, since I already used 2 of my free respecs. While doing this, I ended up killing Bale and got myself a pair of Titans. I don't really have a use for Titans, but I thought it was still kind of impressive that it was minimum enhanced damage of 150. I was like, you don't really like me, do you, Bale? Well, good news, Bale. I don't really like you either. Well, after killing him several more times and no drops, it finally happened. I got myself an essence. Miracles do happen. So, significantly over an hour just to get 1 essence. That drop rate seems right. Soon after, I started back up of my terrorizing the terror zones. Started with one of my favorites, Arcane. Almost instantly got myself a Maul rune. At this rate, I was going to have, like, way too many runes, and I'm just going to have to start upping them into higher runes. Terror Arcane normally doesn't give much in the way of unique items, but it normally gives me a ton of gems, runes, and charms. I say this because I got myself a couple great charms in Arcane. I got myself a 20 to life small charm, which was huge for me, and my survival rate. This was followed up by another 20 life small charm, really soon after. I couldn't believe how much luck I was having this week. Getting this geared usually takes me over a month just to get even close to what I'm at right now. With all this gear, I was feeling pretty confident, and I did some Terror Trav. I was joking around with a friend on voice, saying I had all Sunders already, and I can't believe I still picked them up. I wish I could just get a Geeds. And as I said that, I ID'd my first Geeds. It was pretty great how I just spoke it into existence. And it also had decent magic find. I also decided to do some more crafting for blood rings after. I needed better rings, and I got one. That will do for now. It's an upgrade, but it really has to be replaced at some point. So after a small break, I decided it's time to go back to the grind of Terror Zones. This led me back to the same spot I found my jaw rune, Stony Field. Come on, let's give me another jaw. Well, no jaw, but I did get a repeat. I got another Shaco. I took it and put it on a mule. I'm not sure why, but I always feel bad about dropping a Shaco on the ground. It just usually takes me forever to find my first one, that I just don't want to drop them. Soon after, I got one more item in Stony. Another interesting jewel. This one isn't nearly as amazing as the other, but it was a 15 increased attack speed and 31 enhanced damage jewel. It's not a 40-15, but hey, considering it's solo self-found, I consider it acceptable for use, that's for sure. Finally, I ended the week in Terror Chaos for a ton of experience. Things was going amazing for me, and I was living on a high from all the loot that I have got over the week. I'm still playing it safe since death means I have to restart completely, but my confidence of my tankiness has went up a lot. Chaos didn't really reward me with much, but I did get one interesting item. I did get a Tao's armor. I still haven't found a Tao's amulet, but I feel like I rarely find the amulet before the armor. Finally, I want to say this is going very well, and I can't relax too much. I still don't have a call to arms, or a torch, or an Annie. These things help me a lot with survivability. I mean, I'm pretty much geared an entire character in 2 weeks, which is insane to me. But we do need to speak about the torch. I don't really plan to do torch runs until I can get proper gear. This means I need a low rune for a grief and an ohm rune for a call to arms for battle orders. Not to mention I need a nature's peace to get myself D keys so he doesn't corpse explosion. I know I could probably do it without it, but I just want to be careful and why take the risk without it. I've gotten a lot of items that was pretty amazing, and my character is actually pretty amazing right now. And I still have a lot of things I need to obtain. I'm really hoping I find an SOJ, Arachnid, Verdungos, and maybe a couple Paladin skillers. That would be all really nice to find. And of course, I would like to have some better small charms. Next time, I think I'm going to try to upgrade my Sacred Targe and do some lower Kuros for an Ohm or a low. Of course, I'll probably do some more Terror Zones for levels as well. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support and hope you enjoyed the video. If you like this format better than the other one, please let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and check me out on Twitch when I go live.